All right, friends. So thank you so much for tuning in for this message and meditation. I am Macy LaShawn Sledge, and I'm just here to remind you as I am reminding myself. So if you're new to the channel, thank you for being here. Welcome. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if that resonates with you. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So I always like to start out by just centering ourselves, grounding ourselves into this now moment so that we can be present for the message, so that we can receive what it is that we are needing to receive from God, from spirit, from source, from ourselves, essentially. So wherever you are, before we do get started, I want to say, if you like to take notes, then I would grab a notebook, I would grab something to write with. We will be doing a little bit of meditating. And so I always like to say, after meditation, I think that it's important just to replenish yourself with some water, just to have that water on hand next to you so that you can drink that afterwards, because you may be a little bit thirsty and dry whenever we're done. So go ahead and close your eyes and take one hand and place it on your heart space. And just begin to notice your breath. You're not so much breathing deeply yet. You're just taking your attention and placing it upon your breath. And with your hand there on your heart center, begin to notice your heartbeat. Begin to become aware of yourself, your energy, your presence. Begin to become aware of your aliveness. And then go ahead and we'll start to deepen our breath. So we'll breathe in through our nose. And then let out a gentle exhale through your mouth. In through your nose. Gentle exhale out through your mouth. In through your nose. Gentle exhale out through your mouth. One more time, in through your nose. And a gentle exhale out through your mouth. And then just release your hand and open your eyes. So typically before I, get ready to record, I will ask my spirit, what is one word or what are some words that resonate or that speak to the energy that is present, whether right now or that will be present throughout the week, throughout moments during this next week or during these next few weeks. And so the word that came up was dissolving. And the message that's there is that for those of us who are here present, listening to this message, receiving this message, we are in the process of experiencing a lot of dissolving of certain things. So whether it be belief systems, whether it be limitations we've been holding on to, whether it be emotional and mental turmoil, whether it be connections, whether those connections have been great connections, or if they weren't so great connections, so many things are dissolving in this, and within this moment, within this time space reality that we're finding ourselves in. And so something that I'm hearing, something that's coming up, is that for some of us, we've been allowing that process of things dissolving. We've been allowing that process to really get the best of us mentally and emotionally. And so your spirit is just wanting you to know that in order for you to really ground into what's for you, in order for you to really ground into what's present, what's available to you in the now moment, you have to surrender to the process of dissolving. You have to allow the things that are dissolving to dissolve, right? So you've got this tight grip on, well, this is the way it's supposed to be, or on this is the way it's always been. You've got this tight grip. You're really grasping onto things, holding onto things. And your spirit is saying the process of dissolving is for your own good, right? The process of dissolving is actually a beneficial process for you, because what's happening is you're being called into something higher. You're being called into what I would say is the highest and best for you, right? But you can't step into the highest and best if you're still holding on, if you're grasping, if you're afraid to surrender. So there's this call again to really practice surrendering what you've been used to, right? Surrendering what you've been used to, surrendering what has been normal for you, right? So again, kind of going back to like certain connections, whether they've been great connections or not so great connections, those connections were normal for you, especially if you were involved in them for quite some time. They became your norm, right? Every day you were immersed within this connection, you were immersed within this opportunity, or you were immersed within this belief system. And now your spirit is saying, we want to create a new norm for you, and not even really a new norm, but we want to guide you into something higher, right? So going back to that idea of you being guided into something higher, but you can't step into that. Your spirit can't open up that door for you if you're afraid to allow things to dissolve. So that's the word that's kind of speaking to the energy that we're going to be playing around with this week, is dissolving. And so don't be surprised if you spend some time within the next few days, within the next week or so, shedding a lot of tears, right? Or wanting to rest a lot. Don't be surprised, right? Don't be surprised at those two things. If you find yourself really shedding a lot of tears and wanting to just sleep and rest, right? You're not, sometimes whenever we get into that space of wanting to sleep and rest, we might want to, subject that to, oh, I'm depressed, or oh, I'm sad, or I'm feeling anxious. Go beyond that this week. You may experience some of that a little bit, because what's happening is you're being guided out of a certain space, and that can be heavy, that can be emotional. But your spirit is also saying, don't be so quick to label it as depression, to label it as sadness, or to label it as, whatever you might typically or normally label it as. Your spirit is just saying, just be open and be aware that what's actually happening is a lot of shit is dissolving, right? And that can be heavy. And so that's why the resting might be important, allowing your body to rest, because so much energy is being moved around, so much energy is being transformed, so much energy is being transmuted. And so your body may want to rest. And you may not be used to allowing your body to rest, because you are used to moving in a certain way. You're used to surviving. You're used to living in that fight or flight mode. And your spirit is saying that's something that's dissolving. So you submitting to rest this week is you allowing that energy to dissolve, right? So that's the word. Just pay attention. Your spirit is saying, pay attention to those things that you're really holding on to super tight. Pay attention to those things that you're grasping, because your ability to be honest with yourself about what it is that you're holding on to, your ability to be honest with yourself will help you in the process of moving through this dissolving with compassion and grace and understanding. And your ability to be honest with yourself about what you're holding on to or what you're grasping onto will open the door to clarity, right? It will open the door to clarity. So if you're needing to receive clarity, if you're needing clarification on anything, on how you're feeling, on what is dissolving, your ability to be honest and to be open and your ability to be still will allow that clarity to come through. Okay. So that's the word, dissolving. That's the word that came up. That's speaking to the energy that's present right now, right? Not that's going to be present, but that's present right here, right now. So hold on to that and don't be afraid to step into moments of stillness and quiet and ask your spirit, what is dissolving for me? What am I holding on to that wants to dissolve? Don't be afraid to ask that question. Asking questions is important because your ability to ask those questions and then again sit still and be honest with yourself so that you can hear the answer will help you to move through the process of dissolving with grace. And with ease too, because typically in the past, whenever we're holding on, whenever we are being called to surrender, and we're just being so stubborn, right? We're just being so stubborn. We're being so fearful, so afraid of letting those things go. That's when you put yourself in those depressive states. That's when you put yourself in those anxious states of being because you're not wanting to let go when really it could be so easy, right? It might be an emotional process, it might be a heavy process, but you fighting it is where the anxiety comes in, right? You may feel a little bit of anxiousness at first, but whenever you just surrender, that falls away because then the clarity comes in. The why is this happening? Why is this dissolving? That comes through more clearly whenever you're not fighting the process. Okay. So a couple of notes that I took before recording is this idea, and this came to me whenever I woke up this morning. So, this idea of the non existence of time. Okay. And there's a question, can you be present with everything that is available to you in this now moment? Can you be present with everything that is available to you within this now moment? And so that might be sadness, that might be grief, that might be mourning, but it could also be excitement and enthusiasm. And all of these things are existing simultaneously. And so the question is, can you allow yourself to be present with all of it right here, right now? Because what's happening is everything is collapsing into this now moment, right? We're so used to speaking in terms of the past, and we're so used to speaking in terms of the future. But can you accept that there isn't the past, there is no past, and there is no future? There's only this moment that you're in right now. Again, this is why when you go throughout these next few days, whenever you go throughout this next week, this is why being still and practicing meditation or just spending a few minutes throughout your day to connect with your breath, this is why that's going to be important. Because whenever you are still, you allow yourself to become aware of all that is, and all that is what is right now. Okay? Nothing else exists outside of this moment. Right? And that can be scary, especially when you're not used to thinking like that. That can be scary. But I would like to say that the reason why I would like to say you being here, watching this right now, hearing this message, receiving this message means that there is something within you that is ready to accept that truth. Okay. So remember this week to really be still and spend time with yourself, to really give yourself the chance to receive peace. Give yourself the chance to receive stillness. Give yourself the chance to be still and know that Everything that is what is right now in this moment. Okay. So everything is collapsing into this now moment. Everything is available to you now: the love, the joy, the freedom, the abundance. None of it looks a certain way, right? So get that out of your head too. Get it out of your head that this is what abundance looks like. Get it out of your head that this is what joy looks like. Get it out of your head that this is what love looks like. Because when you become present to all of it right here, right now, there really isn't an image that can suffice, right? There really isn't an image that can hold up to what it really is right here in this now moment. So your spirit is saying, let go of those images. When you allow yourself to get present, when you allow yourself to be here, those images, you let go of them. And let's just sit on that for a second. Yeah. So again, going back to this idea of the non-existence of time, there's nothing for you to wait for. If it's all present, if it's all right here, if everything that is what is right here in this moment, there's nothing for you to wait for. There's nothing for you to say, there's nothing for you to wait for, because it's right here with you right now in this present moment, in this now moment. And your job is to surrender to that. Your job is to honor that. Your job is to accept that. Because unless you do, you'll just keep pushing, you'll keep fighting, you'll keep pulling, right? And the pull is taking you away from yourself. The pushing, the fighting is taking you away from yourself. And so the only choice and option is to live it right now, to be present, grateful, and renewed right here, right now. Okay. One of the notes that I wrote down was, you don't have to try and force some future timeline into existence, because it's all right here, right now. And you also don't have to over explain about a past occurrence, because it has all collapsed into this now moment. All of creation is right here, right now. Can you accept that? Can you honor that? And that kind of leads me into the next point of your spirit asking you to practice the art of acceptance and letting go. And that kind of already touched on this. So what is it that we're letting go of? We're letting go of the past, we're letting go of the future, and we're accepting that everything that is right now is all that is. And when you allow yourself to ground into that, and go ahead and do that, let's take a couple of deep breaths. Let's just ground into all that is what it is right now. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale it out through your mouth. In through your nose and exhale it out through your mouth. And just notice this moment. Notice what's here. And can you allow this to be it? Can you allow yourself to accept that this is it? Can you practice acceptance? Because going back to the beginning, talking about the idea of everything dissolving that needs to dissolve. Practicing acceptance is going to be very important in that process, because if you can't accept that certain things are dissolving for you, then you are going to literally drive yourself crazy, right? There won't be anything outside of yourself to blame, no matter what's going on. There's nothing to blame, but you will drive yourself crazy. You will keep yourself in this state of panic and not feeling grounded and safe if you can't practice acceptance. So allowing everything to dissolve and really saying, okay, fine, this is dissolving. Okay, fine. I know that it's for my highest and best. I know that it's for my own good. Okay, fine. I can't remember who I heard say that, but one day I heard somebody explain something and they said, just say when you're being called to something and it doesn't really make sense, just say, okay, fine. And that's a form of surrender. So whenever you're going throughout this week and those things that are dissolving, when they come to your attention and you see it, just say, okay, fine, and see where that takes you, right? See where surrendering by saying, okay, fine, see where that takes you. Allow yourself to be open because you have no idea what's on the other side. You have no idea what's on the other side of surrender until you actually surrender. And then you're going to find out that what's on the other side of surrender is everything beautiful, right? But can you allow yourself to go there? Can you give yourself permission to go there? Can you allow yourself to know and accept that you deserve to go there? And that it's not that what's behind you was bad or awful. It's just not what was in alignment with your highest and best. So now we're going to move into a meditation. And I just want you to close your eyes and rest your hands in your lap or on your knees. And we'll take a deep breath in through our nose together. And exhale out through your mouth, allowing everything to relax. And again, breathing in through your nose. And sighing it out through your mouth. Allowing everything to relax. One more time, in through your nose. And sighing it out through your mouth. Allowing everything to relax. And I want you to begin to see yourself standing at the edge of a body of water. This body of water can look like whatever you want it to look like, whatever your imagination brings to you, but just see yourself standing at the edge of this body of water. And you begin to see the waves. You begin to hear the waves. You can smell the water. You can smell the freshness of everything around you. And then I want you to begin to see yourself stepping out onto the water. So you're not stepping into the water, you're stepping out onto the water. And you see yourself, you're walking, and you start to notice that the water gets deeper and it gets deeper. And then as you are looking out in front of you, you see this figure. And this figure, this being, it's full of light. And I want you to notice this figure. I want you to see this being of light reach their hand out to you. And as you see them reach their hand out to you, I just want you to begin to notice as you're standing where you are, facing this being of light. Initially, how do you feel? Once you notice that initial feeling, I want you to whisper to yourself where you are standing on that body of water. I give myself permission to move forward. And begin to notice yourself step forward. And then I want you to begin to notice yourself grab. You made it to the being of light, and now you've grabbed onto the being of light's hand. And I want you to see yourself being led by this being of light. You're now being led by this being of light, and begin to notice. I'm not going to tell you where this being of light has taken you, but you just begin to notice you've arrived to an area, and you begin to notice where is it that this being of light has led you to. Notice the colors, notice the sounds, notice the smells. Just notice what's there. And also begin to notice how you feel. What I'm feeling as you're there, there's this feeling of overwhelm. There's this feeling of I have arrived. And I want you to just notice, where is it that you have arrived to? Who is there with you? What are you offering yourself wherever it is that you have arrived to? And can you give yourself permission to accept it? Can you give yourself permission to receive what it is that you are offering yourself in this space? And then begin to see in this space a gold chair. Again, this chair can be as big or as small or as wide, as narrow as you want it to be. But just begin to notice this gold chair, and then notice the light being lead you to this chair and sit you down in this chair. Notice how you feel as you're sitting down in this chair. Notice your energy. Notice what's going on around you. And then again, notice what it is that you are offering yourself as you are sitting down in this chair. Can you allow yourself to accept it? Can you allow yourself to receive it? And then I want you to notice different people, different things, different doors pop up around you as you're sitting in this gold chair. And then as you're looking out, noticing who's there, what's present, what has popped up. And you start to visualize these different things. And then some of them begin to dissolve rapidly. And I want you to pay close attention to what it is that has dissolved. And as these things, as these people, as these doors are dissolving, notice how you feel. Notice your response. And I want you to imagine yourself saying, that has dissolved. Okay, fine. That's dissolving. Okay, fine. And notice how you begin to feel as you surrender by saying, okay, fine. Begin to notice how light you feel as you surrender by saying, okay, fine, as you allow these things, these people, these doors to dissolve. And then just notice what's left as everything that needed to dissolve has dissolved. Just notice what's still there, notice what's still present. And then thank yourself for allowing what needed to dissolve. And then thank yourself for allowing what is in alignment with your highest and best to remain. And then I want you to just begin to notice the chair. It disappears. Begin to notice the light being take your hand and walk you back across the water. And now you're back to standing at the edge of the body of water that you started out at. Begin to notice the water disappear and begin to notice yourself back into the space that you're currently in. And then you'll take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale it out through your mouth. Again, in through your nose and out through your mouth. And then slowly open your eyes. Come back to this moment. And just notice how you feel. So, the call to action for this meditation, for this message, is for you. I'm seeing first and foremost to really be honest with yourself about what's dissolving and to hold yourself accountable to the process of allowing it to dissolve. So, being honest, holding yourself accountable, and to also create this space of stillness for yourself, to really give yourself the chance and opportunity to experience stillness, to rest this week, because your body is going to be transforming and transmuting energy as you go throughout the process of dissolving. And so your body is going to need rest. Your body is going to need fuel. So fruits, vegetables, food that will assist your body in feeling good, food that will assist your body in the process of dissolving what needs to be dissolved. Really making sure that you're paying attention to your water intake. If you don't have a journal, getting a journal so that you can write things down, or utilizing the voice memos on your phone so that you can even hear yourself say out loud, this is what's dissolving. This is the clarity that's coming through. This is the wisdom that's coming through as I'm going through this process of dissolving. So just giving yourself permission to be present with the process this week. Again, thank you for being here with me. If this message, if the meditation resonated with you, then I do want to encourage you to share. If you would like to schedule a one-on-one self-empowerment session or guided meditation session or intuitive guidance session, then you can use the link in the description to book that session. Again, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you have any thoughts, then you can leave them in the comments. And until next time, I love you.